we've been talking about big data, we've been talking about structuring it. Where does the rubber really meet the road? Action is really what the C-level suite wants to see, right? I want results. I want you to move my numbers, et cetera. We talked a little bit about that, but so what's an actionable analytic other than its great alliteration?
So are you saying that give me better customer service is not actionable?
It's certainly the alliteration isn't nearly as good.
Well, it's about what you get from the C-suite. So, and no disrespect to the C-suite, that's the kind of strategic initiative that you're likely to receive. I want to improve my profit. I want to decrease my expenses. I want to increase turns on my inventory. I want to improve the customer experience. So where this gets actionable is when you can drill down to the root cause of the kinds of defects that keep you from meeting your goals.
Starting to sound like Six Sigma, you're saying.
Hey,
thing.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, we are very well versed in Six Sigma and the different kinds of defects that a manufacturing option or operation will encounter, and frankly, they're the same kinds of defects that any kind of transactional organization, and what organization isn't transactional, that any organization will encounter. A couple of the clear examples are defects of waste and defects of rework. So when we drill into a common defect, which is having to do a job over again because you didn't do it right the first time, it's very common and easy for organizations to hit the technician or the field operative with a stick and say, "Rich, thou shalt do better." And that's not very satisfying. It's not very effective.
It's an action.
And it's an action, yes. And
it's just not really effective
action. It's not very effective, yes. And it doesn't bring about either employee or customer satisfaction. And when somebody doesn't achieve success with a particular activity out in the field, there's a lot of possible causes as to why that happens. And in order to get to action to help them do better, you have to be able to produce analytics that help point you in the right direction. And frequently this involves bringing data together from a lot of different systems. And one real easy example is that I'm expecting you to perform action X, but lo and behold, when I look in my HR system, we've never trained you on that particular item.
So I'm to guess how I should be.
You just got to get better at that.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's not specific enough.
Right.
And management has the responsibility to help its people get better in a more specific and actionable way. And what analytics, well-designed and effective analytics will do is help the frontline manager understand that your issue with your high defect rate is not because of something you're doing wrong, it's something that management did wrong. We didn't get you into training. And it could also be that we didn't give you the tools.
Classic management theory is you just hit the cue ball harder.
Right.
How does that change? What's the paradigm around how we get better performance out of people without the negative reinforcement?
People realize that you're going the extra step when you open your mind to the idea that it could be, I didn't do the right thing by getting you trained. When I have that kind of interaction with an employee, it opens up a new kind of relationship. It admits that I could be vulnerable. I could be wrong as a manager. I may not have done everything I need to do to support you.
So the facilitation of this vulnerability-based trust is really central, and why the winds of change need to be directed in the right direction. Classical management theory would say, you're wrong, I'm going to fix it. What we try and do is change that paradigm to say, how can I help you succeed? Mm-hmm. It's in all the management books. Mm-hmm. What our analytics can do is help make that action more comfortable and less blame thrower in nature.
One of the key actions of this is that when you can identify the particular nature of the things where somebody isn't performing as well as they could in the field, you can identify those very specific things. You send them to training just on those items. You don't send them to 4 days of training where 3.5 days is stuff that they're already doing really well. And you're taking them out of the workforce for that long, and it's almost punishment to have to go through all that training and that remedial training again to try and get the 2 hours of stuff that's really going to help you perform better.
Right. One size doesn't fit all.
It absolutely does not. This makes you much more efficient, train for what you specifically need, get in, get out, get better.